this personified. For most of us here, when we began Gmsa, none of us here were born. Most of us called the father of Gmsa with a big round of applause and a standing ovation. Let's welcome our father, Sheikh Ismail.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله الذي بيده تتم الصالحات. وأصلي وأسلم على الحبيب المصطفى صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. وبعد. All praises belong to the Almighty Allah. May His peace and blessings be upon the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, his household, followers, and all those who follow the path of Allah to the day of judgment. The MC. I'll be right to take him to court. He said, Ismail. The whole Ghana, we don't have any Ismail Muyama except my own son. My full name is Ishaq Ibrahim Muyama. Born on 25th December 1955. So as I'm standing here on Monday, by His grace and power, I hit 68 years. A takbir is enough because the days I have spent didn't come from me. That is why we don't celebrate birthdays. The reason is very simple. You celebrate what you have achieved. Is that not it? In the days you have spent on earth, were you the one who created them? They were created by Allah. So what you have to do is to thank Him and ask Him for forgiveness for your sins and acceptance of your deeds. And then number two, last how many years now? Should be 2016. I have a very close friend. He's a Lebanese. He's the MD of Japan Motors. When you go into that group of people, some of them are very wasteful in the way they use money. Somebody went to New York and spent $1 million celebrating his 60th birthday. And this, my friend, was going to hit 50 years. And he asked me, Sheikh, what do I do? And I said, go to Mecca. Go and thank Allah. Go and thank Allah at Arafah for helping you to live up to 50 years. Ask for forgiveness, acceptance of your good deeds, and then giving you a life of piety the rest of your life. I have been introduced in a manner as if I was picked from the street. Huh? I have been introduced. Listen to the English word. I have been introduced in a manner as if you picked me from the street. You didn't know me. You just mentioned my name, and even wrongly. I'm the chief patron of Gmsa. I've been with this organization for 47 years. 47 years. Listen, the clapping is for the women, the ladies, and you will have to say Allahu Akbar. The Prophet says, لا تصفيق للرجال Men are not supposed to clap. To clap. The clapping is for our ladies. I've been with this organization for 47 years. And I'm still with it. And by His grace and power, I will die in it. I'm an author of 31 books. By His grace and power. Right now, if you ask me to write any of the books, just one of them, I can't. 2 a.m. when I'm sitting behind my desk in the library and writing, the Creator intervenes and facilitates it. A week later, after the book has been done, if you ask me to write that book, I can't. The 31 books cut across Islam, education, and the science of personal development. I hope next year around this time, if you come for the campaign, I may get you some copies. A lot of them are out of print. I'm mobilizing to reprint. So whoever will come to the program will get at least a copy of two for free. We'll sell to you. Finally, I am comprehensively married. Are you listening, Bero? I am comprehensively polygamous. I have 4 wives. Four wives. And by His grace and power, I have 17 children. And I have not finished. I'm still counting. My first wife came here yesterday to talk to you. The woman who came here yesterday, Haja Yasmin, that's my first wife. Wife number 1. Between us, we have 10 children. 5 boys, 5 girls. Out of that pack, 9 have graduated from universities. 4 have gone back to do their masters. 2 have completed. They'll be going for PhD. And then I have twins. They are also doing their master. They will finish sometime in January or February. My second wife has 5. 3 girls, 2 boys. And then my third wife has 2. The last one, very young lady, super young.
Fresh.
She's only 26. You know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has been kind to me. All my wives are from Gmsa. It is not for nothing that I love this organization. And Allah blessed me with wives, wonderful ones for that matter, from the organization. So Haja Yasmin was part of it. You know, Malams, even at the Makranta level, Malams have the habit or character of selecting from the ladies they have trained. So I taught her from Form 1 to Form 3, then I left for Saudi Arabia. Then my second wife, she is an Ashanti. Allah has killed tribalism in my house. Haja Yasmin is an Ashanti. My second wife is Kutukuli. My third wife is Gonja. Understand, I have an in-law here. Raise up your hand and let me see you. You came to introduce himself to me. Then number 4 is Wangara. So you can see diverse tribes. I don't know how to name it. Is it United?
A mixture of language.
That is a blessing of Allah. After the first 10, my 5 girls, all of them are married. So if you come into that house, you won't get anything. Until after 7 years for each. Because the next in line is from my second wife, Salah. She is going to the 3rd year, biological sciences at KUST. And she will proceed to do medicine at Cape or Legon. So she has about 7 or 8 years to go. So anyone who will come and propose until she finishes the medical school, no away. So I have 3 girls, 2 boys there, and then the Gunja girl has 2, a boy and a girl. But the last one, 2017. I used to, almost 32 years, I was traveling across the length and breadth of Ghana to visit Gmsa branches in institutions, universities and secondary, polytechnics, training colleges, just like I'm addressing you. That was my preoccupation. For almost 33 years, I was traveling around the world. 2017, February, I went to University of Education, Wilbur. And this lady was there, my 4th wife. You know, I'm giving you this introduction for you to reflect, think. You can see the hand of Allah in everything that I do. After the program, this lady called me. No, she sent me a text message that she wanted to talk to me. I called her. I didn't know her. She's from Tafu, Azharia. Those who are from Tafu, they know her. You know, and then I called her. She was in Winneba and I was in Kumasi. I said, Madam, anything? She said, Sheikh, I've been looking for you for the past 7 years. Looking for me? For the past 7 years. What do you want from me? In the first place, why do you know me? He said, I know you on television. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala planted love for you in my heart. Madam, how old are you? She said 20, going to 21. And I said, Madam, 2017. I said, I'm going to 62. Look at the car, 41 years. Madam, go and look for somebody. Around 25, 30 to marry you. She said, Sheikh Miyama, even if you are 100, you are the one I want. That is the power of Allah at work. Then she told me more than 43 men had proposed to me, and I rejected all of them. All because of me, poor Islam. So quickly, let's know, then, because I exercise people from Al-Jinn. I do a lot of ruqya to exercise people from Al-Jinn, magic, evil eye, hasada, and so on and so forth. And when you are doing that kind of work, for 14 years I've been doing it, when you are doing that kind of work, the Al-Jinn can plant a woman on you, come and disturb you. So I told her, let me reflect upon it. So she was in Winneba House. The whole night I did not sleep. The woman I had not seen before asking me to marry her. But by morning, my heart was at ease that this is a choice from the Almighty. So I called her. I said, Madam, inshallah, by His grace and power. I didn't know her. I had not seen her. Who does that? It's not common. A woman you have not seen, you say you want to marry her. So I called her and said, Madam, inshallah, I'm convinced it is Allah who has selected you for me, so I will marry you. Then she started crying on the phone. Then I said, oh, stop crying. Next week, I will come to your school. My son is there. Do you know him? He said, yes. So I'll come and see you. I went with my best friend in life. 47 years of friendship. I went with him. Then we met the lady. I asked her one simple question. Will your mother agree? I said, my mother is mad about you. When you come on TV, she stops cooking. To cut a long story short, on 30th June, 5 days after Eid al-Fitr, the knot was tied for me with this lady at Taco. And by His grace and power, she is doing her MPhil in early childhood education right now. She may complete in April. Haja Yasmin, who came here, has MBA in strategic management from KUST. My second wife has MBA in accounting from KUST. And my third wife graduated recently from UCC, Bachelor of Education. So if you look at the caliber of women I have, you can understand. They have enlightenment. There isn't any darkness in their minds. So they understand issues. So even though I have four, but I'm enjoying peace in my life. If I have, I share with them, and they all understand. If I don't have, they will wait till the Almighty opens the door. Good to be with you. Your father is Ibrahim Nuyama. How many of you are 16 years old? Raise up your hands. 16, 1-6. You are 16. Are you sure? Which level of education? Senior high, Form 1, Form 2, Form 3? Huh? Form 1? Then I'll accept it. Where is the other 16 years? My daughter. My granddaughter. $16 years. Another one. When I was 16 years, my father sat me down to give me proper orientation about life. My father was a firebrand, Mr. No Nonsense. And I'm just like him. Me, when I'm firing in the house, now I have stopped. When my children were growing, you can see the number. 10 with Ajay Yasmin. When they were growing, I had to behave like a madman. This large number of children. Hey, that is coming. But as they reached 15, 16, 17, then I took them as my friends. I have identical twins in the house. And they look just like me. When you come and meet me and them, you might think they are my brothers. Very free with them, jovial, they drive my cars, you know. But when they were young, say 7, 8, 9, 10 years, hey, I will shout and one of them will just urinate. Just to be able to instill discipline into them. But by His grace and power, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has touched all of them. They are doing well. My daughters are all married now. They've all gone. The first batch. They said, come back. We'll start to go away after 6 or 7 years. are saying, hey, somebody who is going to the third year will finish, go and read medicine for 3-4 years extra. You think that person is going to get married now? This morning, I'm asking about the 16-year-olds. Because when I was 16, my father sat me down. And what I'm going to tell you, please, swallow everything, digest everything in your mind, and emulate and copy. My father asked me, are you a man? Are you a man? And I said, Papa, I'm not a woman. Who can interpret what he was asking about? Then I told him that, Papa, I'm not a woman. I'm a man. He said, think well. Not knowing he was asking about my status, my puberty status, whether I had reached the age of puberty. And we the men, the male gender, when you reach the age of puberty, there are some signs. All of you, it might have happened to you. You will sleep, and then you will dream that you are married, and so on and so forth. So my father wanted to know whether I had become a man in terms of sexual relationship. So he had to explain to me. Then he went on. You see this body that I have here? In my youthful times, I was like a skeleton. I didn't have flesh on my body, with a very big head. My head was very big. Being up to date is big. So my wife, number 4, she is fond of, making jokes about me. I said, hey, Shekimama, your mother really suffered. Your head is too big. So I had a big head, skeletal body. My father said, you see, Allah has given you a big head. And from class 1 up to secondary school, you have always been first in class. So what will make you great is to acquire knowledge, spread it, and make use of it. Number 2, take note of the fact that every female gender is your enemy, except the one that I have married for you. Do you get me? I said that. Yes, sir. This statement from him even affected my relationship with my siblings. In the house, I had a small room packed with books as I was growing up. I was not free with my own sisters. One of them narrated recently, this is our brother, when we were younger, he will enter the house, say hello to you, but to come and mix with us and chat with us, it never happened. Because of this advice from my father. Then number 4, he said, you see, money, never think about it. When you acquire the knowledge, sit well. You are not sleeping in your bedroom. When you acquire knowledge, listen to the old man who never went to school. So when you acquire knowledge, the wealth will follow you. As for money, if you acquire the knowledge, it will follow you. As I'm standing here, I have 7 passports. I have dropped 1. conferences. I studied at Legon here, went to Saudi Arabia, King Saudi University, and then later on University of London. It is only China and Japan that I have not been to. All the continents, I've been there to attend conferences and deliver papers. United States, Britain, France, Holland, Germany, Saudi Arabia, and the rest. I have 7 passports. I've just dropped one recently. I've left it in the library. The reason why I'm keeping all of them is that if my British visa expires and I'm going to renew it, all my passports should be there to tell the visa issuer that this man is not going to stay in your country. When he goes, he will come. I have been to US twice. I spent only, one was 4 days, the other one was 6 days. At the airport, the immigration officer asked me, how long are you staying? I said 6 days. I said, you don't like our country? And I told him I'm a busy person. UK, I went, I got there on Friday. Monday, I was back in Accra. Yeah. The conference was Saturday and Sunday. Monday, I flew back to Accra. And the same question, the immigration officer, a lady, asked me at Heathrow Airport. You don't like our country? I said, I'm a busy man. At that time, President Atamil had asked me to serve on Narcotics Control Board, and I was in charge of public education. You know Narcotics Control Board? Those who handle cocaine and weed and the rest. I served on that board for 5 years, 3 months, traveling across the length and breadth of Ghana, visiting 157 FM stations to address the Ghanaian population on narcotics. So when you learn hard and you acquire knowledge, it is not for nothing that it is said in English language, knowledge is power. Who can explain it for me? Sana Mutia. Haven't you heard that adage before? Huh? Explain for me. Sit well, madam. If you know you are not well and you want to rest, go to where you came from. Go and rest. Not here. Knowledge is power. Subhanallah.
How I understand it, with knowledge, you can get almost everything you want in dunya and life. And yeah.
You see, knowledge is power because it is powerful in terms of what it can help man to do. Who has ever boarded an aeroplane before? You are not included. You are our president. Sit here and chop your presidency. If you board an aircraft and you fly into space, the sky that you are seeing there are layers of it. And the aircraft will try as much as possible to go to almost the last layer. Because sometimes this layer that we see, our eyes see, is a pack of clouds that are hanging up there on our heads. And if you read Surah Ra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that when you look up, you see these skies hanging without pillars. Is it not a wonder? So when you fly into space and you are somebody who thinks, you look down and you see the Sahara Desert. Another wonder. It's all red or brownish in color. The Sahara Desert. You ask yourself, how were we able to fly to this place How was the aeroplane made? An aeroplane was made by scientists by looking at birds, just an ordinary bird. Aircrafts resemble birds, the way they fly. So human ingenuity, human creativity helped them to develop this. So knowledge has facilitated it. Even the ordinary car that you bought from Ahmadiyya SS to KJTN, the car, when you're sitting in it, that is the work of the human mind through knowledge. America is making noise in the world, not because of anything, because of the scientific knowledge they have more than everybody. And they are inventing things. I'm praying a day that a Muslim scholar, scientist, will invent a bomb for the Muslim world. Because the bullying is too much. Look at what Israel is doing in Gaza. When the Americans, when they invaded Iraq, I know none of you was in existence in this world. That was 1971, 32 years now. How old are you? Huh? Yay! 20 years. 31 years ago, the Americans invaded Saddam Hussein's country with an aircraft they call B-52 bombers. 10 years on, B-52 bombers were just dropping the bombs. 10 years on, these stupid people had researched into science so much so that they were able to insert a chip in the bomb. A bomb that will blast, and the chip will come back to the sender to tell him that I have done the job. That's knowledge. So, my father told me to hold on to knowledge and learn and learn and learn. So, my message for you this month is twofold. Number one is to fear Allah. There is a verse in the Quran, Quran chapter 65, verse 2. The Prophet of Islam says that there is a verse in the Quran. If Muslims were to understand it and apply it to their lives, they will be successful in this world and in the hereafter. Quran 65. I know a lot of you have memorized the Quran. Quran 65, verse 2. That is Surah Al-Talaq. وَمَنْ يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا. Anyone who fears Allah, Allah will give him openings. So my first message for you is the fear of Allah. Wherever you are, you the young ladies, are you sick? Sit well. You the young ladies, please. I'm emphasizing that please so that you will never forget. In our communities, until recently, we were getting virgins to marry. Until recently, if you wanted a virgin, a woman who had not been touched by any man, it is our community that you can get. And now today, when you go and choose any, you have to be meticulously selective. And I have the privilege to tell you that in future, if you you want to marry, come to Gmsa. Our ladies, mashallah, are decent. They don't allow stupid men to play with them. She will stay put, fearing the Almighty, to the day that her husband will come and ask her hand for marriage. It's very important. And let me tell you, if you stay clean, wherever you are hiding, Allah will bring you your husband. Your mother who came here yesterday, her closest friend, I got her husband. In her home, there were about 10 or 12. 6 or 7 of them were girls. But they were the wayward type, going by the flow. But this lady, her name is Fatih, stayed put, and they were laughing at her. Now the eldest amongst them, she should be about 60 years now, or 62. She never got a husband, and she never had a baby. But Fatih was hiding somewhere. Then a friend of mine, who was a professor at KNS, in 1985, he came to me and said, Sheikh, at that time I was not called Sheikh, I was called Master Isha. Can you get me a lady to marry? I said, okay, I have 2 in mind. I have 2 in mind. I can arrange for you to see the 2 you select. Then he said, give me their names. I can see you hiding and relaxing. If you relax, I will expose you. Then he said, I should mention their names. Then I said Fatih. He said, stop. I said, She said, once Fatih is one of the 2, I'm not going to visit any of them. The Fatih is enough. Then I asked him, after putting too much pressure on him, he said, I had 3 dreams relating to my marriage. And I had done a lot of istikhara, a lot of fasting. And all the 3, Fatih was the one I was seeing. That is the power of Allah at work. That's what the Prophet said, if you fear him, he will give you openings. They got married. The brother died about 3 months ago, leaving behind 5 children, wonderful children. That's how it has to be. A lady, you make yourself dirty by allowing these stupid young men to have carnal knowledge of you. You are finished. You are dead. You become like a gutter. Me, I'm very lucky. Haja Yasmin, I married her. She was a virgin. My second wife, I married her. She was a virgin. Third wife, I married her. She was a virgin. Fourth wife, I married her. She was a virgin. All my 4 wives were virgins. Because in 1983, when I did my first Hajj, I prayed to Allah to give me virgin or virgins. I asked Allah for that. I stood and faced the door of the Kaaba. But according to the Prophet, if you face the door of the Kaaba and you sincerely pray, Allah will answer your prayer. So I asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give me virgins. And the joy in having virgins is that if the lady came into your marriage and might have had friendship with some people from the male gender. Let me use names of Christians because I don't want to use names of Muslims. So Kwakumanu befriended her. Afrani befriended her. Michael befriended her. The same woman. Oh! And each one is dropping a bomb because the semen from us, the men, is completely different from one another. And when different semen meet in the womb, at the end of the day, the woman cannot even deliver. The person who will marry her last will have to take her to Konfanochi for womb cleansing before she can carry a baby. And illicit, bad sexual relationship, once you have it, you are distanced from the Almighty. When you pray, He won't listen. But if you stay clean, as I'm seeing them, they stay clean. SS, university. Then a wonderful man will drop. Come and marry. Like I dropped me and old man. Going to marry a 20-year-old girl. Alhamdulillah, I have no regrets. It is all joy for me. Because life is such that it carries a lot of deceptions. We are talking about taqwa. I will soon show you the benefit of taqwa. Then I will add a little bit about knowledge. Then my speech will come to an end. 3 young men. Benefit of taqwa. 3 young men went on an errand. They went to the desert, look around, and then there was a windstorm, very heavy windstorm. And they wanted a place to hide themselves. So they went and hid in a cave. And the windstorm moved a big rock that came to block the entrance of the cave. When the storm weathered, that is, the storm stopped, and they wanted to come up, they couldn't. So one of them suggested that let's pray to Allah with any good deed that any of us did for the sake of Allah. So the first one, a young man who used to give his old parents milk to drink every evening. One evening when he came, they had fallen asleep. So he stood on his feet from the evening till morning and gave them the milk to drink. So he said, "Oh Allah, if I did it for your sake, cause the rock to move." And the rock moved. And then the second person was an employer. He employed the services of a worker. And the worker did not take his salary and went away. And the man feared that if he kept the money would lose value with the passage of time. So he invested in livestock, goats, cows, camels, and the rest. Some years later, the man came to take his money. Then he took the man to his backyard and said, "All the livestock there, they are all yours." So what? Are you serious? He said, "Yes. I invested your money in livestock. So all the products there are yours. So, oh Allah, if I did that for your sake, cause the rock to move." And the rock moved. Honesty. The last one. A young man who had seen the daughter of his uncle. Instead of going through the main door, he wanted to go through back door. So he wore the lady, even with diamond, for her to allow him to have sex with her. After giving the diamond, and the lady gave herself to him when he wanted to do the stupid thing. The lady shouted, "Fear the Almighty, you have not paid for it. What do you want to do? You have not paid. You have to pay your dowry, and the rest for me to become your wife. You have not paid." And then I got scared, and I stayed away. Oh Allah, if I did it for your sake, cause the rock to move. And the rock moved, and all of them came out. Now on knowledge. If there is any religion in this world that surpasses Islam in terms of knowledge, we don't have any. You know, the first revelation that came to the prophet, first revelation, who can mention the first 5 verses? Yes.
اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق خلق الإنسان من علق اقرأ وربك الأكرم الذي علم بالقلم علم الإنسان ما لم يعلم.
You see, this religion, we have to study hard and learn about Islam. The first verse and the first word is an instruction. Iqra. Read. I call this instruction for civilizations. Because when you read, you acquire knowledge. So the first verse in the Quran and the first word is Iqra. Read. Then when you go down, the 4th verse, Alladhi allama bil qalam. That is, the Almighty taught man the use of the pen. Then you go to Quran 68, Surah Al-Qalam, the chapter of the pen. Hey, this religion is all about knowledge. The chapter of the pen. So Allah says, Wal qalami wa ma yasturun. And the pen and all that is written down by the angels. So Allah has given us 2 tools for the acquisition of knowledge. Reading, and then the pen to preserve knowledge. We write down information and knowledge. In 2004, I was flying on Ghana Airways before we went to the cemetery. At Heathrow Airport, I looked at the Ghanaians. No, Ghanaians, we gossip a lot. We talk a lot. Ghanaians don't like reading. Shirime! Shirime! Chinnama Mutani. There is a mosque in Accra. I call it a visitor at Nima. The Imam will read Surah Al-Fatiha in a quick manner. Then he will read the shortest verse in the Quran. One of the shortest verses in the Quran. فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان الله أكبر. What kind of ibadah is this? When they finish, they do not pray on time. They will pray Isha around 6:35, 6:40. Meanwhile, Isha is around 7:20. They will pray Isha around that time. And they will fast track it. Swiftly, everything is over. When they finish, do you know what they are going to do? They have this type plastic chairs around the mosque. They sit in a group. This religion promotes knowledge. The Prophet says, صلى الله عليه وسلم اطلب العلم من المهدي إلى اللحد. I want you to memorize this quote. It's a hadith. So I'll read it and then you repeat. You read it 10 times. Some of you will memorize it. Then I will explain. اطلب العلم. Yes, follow me. اطلب العلم.
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم
اطلب العلم
من المهدي
من المهد
إلى اللحد.
إلى اللحد.
Who can say it?
اطلب العلم من المهد.
Get up, face the crowd.
اطلب العلم من المهد إلى اللحد.
Are you a madam? Huh?
أنا ما عملت مالك.
Yes. Oh, you are recording. Take your hands out of the pockets.
اطلب العلم إلى المهد إلى اللحد.
Oh, what? Thank you very much. You have done well. Who next? Yes.
اطلب العلم من المهد إلى اللحد.
اطلب العلم من المهد إلى اللحد.
From the ladies. Yes. Okay. You see, the prophet says, seek knowledge. I'm going to give the explanation, then my presentation will come to an end. The prophet says, look for knowledge from the cradle. You know the cradle? Yes. Huh? Yes. What is a cradle? What is a cradle? Yes. Huh?
Fancy.
It means that look for knowledge from birth to the grave. We are Muslims. We are asleep. Some British educational scientists did a research based on this hadith. The hadith was not given to them, it was given to us, but we didn't act on it. They heard that the prophet said, seek knowledge from the time the child is born all the way to the grave. The question is, how can a small child learn? How? You know, when a child is born, the sense of hearing is activated, but the sight is not activated. It takes some days before the child can see. But from the time of birth, day one, the 2 years are working. It is telling us that we learn more by hearing than seeing. So the prophet said, the child should baby should seek knowledge. How? So, some few British educational scientists said they wanted to investigate. So they selected a group of women who had given birth to their babies. And they tasked the mothers to buy newspapers and read the contents of the newspapers loudly on their newly born babies. You know what happened? 6 years old, when those children who were born and received newspaper reading from their mothers, when they went to school, they topped their class. They topped their class. They topped their class, vindicating the instruction of the Prophet that seek knowledge from the crowd, not knowing even the baby lambs. I'll ask you, this religion believes in excellence. In our country here, the few Muslims who have even been in politics, the few Muslims who have occupied positions of authority in this country, you hardly hear of a Muslim stealing in the history of this country. Muslims are very decent people. Therefore, I will urge you to take your studies seriously. And first thing first, don't be in secondary school and you are thinking of being a billionaire. First thing first. Stephen Covey, an American motivational speaker, he says first thing first. Because step one is to get A's at SS level. Step two is to get the program of your church at the university level. And you work hard. Then over there, you work hard to get first class at the university or second class upper. When you get first class, the university will ask you to stay back and be a teaching assistant. The sky is going to be your limit because PhD will just come your way like that. Now, after getting your PhD and your teaching, you become a UN consultant. UN consultant. And when you become a UN consultant, it's not small money. You take that money with honor and dignity. You will get there, but it calls for patience and hard work, coupled with the fear of the Almighty. Don't be too greedy. Don't rush in life. Rome was not built in a day. Young man, 20 years. He wants to drive hammer. You go and do sakawa. They will go and sleep at cemeteries, eating the flesh of dead bodies. What for? But always think of your accountability, that when you die today, and Allah wakes you up, and you're being asked questions. And when we talk of death, you have to think well, because as for death, it doesn't recognize a young man and an old man. It comes to anybody at all. And the problem we have is that in relation to death. Do you know of any young man who has died before?
Yes, please.
Huh?
Yes, please.
How old was he?
He was about 6 years.
Huh?
6 years.
6 years. So, baby, now coming to the world. 6 years. Do you know of anybody who died while young? Yes. How old was he?
25.
See, young. 25. Slightly above you people. You know, we are faced with three problematic questions in relation to death. When you are going to die, you don't know. How you are going to die, you don't know. Where you are going to die, you don't know. Yet you are bluffing. Brother Taufik of Obuasi, a very successful businessman. Morning, he went for jogging, came back to the house, and I asked the wife, Fatty, to prepare tea for him while he was sitting in the green grass. In 10 minutes' time, the wife came back, only to find Taufik, 41-year-old young man, dead and gone forever. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.